Hey, what is going on, guys? I am back again for another episode of the Hidden Gun design. So obviously this was the last project I touched on this channel in part 1, but today we got part 2 as well. So obviously, as you can see, I have done a little bit more of it from the last episode. So a lot of you guys are really keen on this project, which I think is really cool. I think it's pretty exciting as well. I haven't seen anything else like this done before, so really excited to see this. Still got the Valhalla Blade project coming along. I'll probably release another episode on that soon. And yeah, we got this going at the same time. We've got so many projects going on at the moment. It's just like ridiculous. But yeah, I'm also doing the wrist activated blade, so I'm going to do a part 1 episode on that as well, where I'm just going to talk a little bit about the designs that I was running through, because I think you guys find that pretty interesting when I talk about, like, the thought process behind some of these builds, which is pretty cool. But anyway, we're going to jump right into this. I don't want this video to be too long, because I just kind of want to show you the main guts of this, and then the next video we have on this, I should have a 3D printed prototype, which I can show you guys, and then after that we'll go with the final design and the final project video, which would be pretty cool. I've actually got the printer going at the moment, printing some of the parts for this, so we should be able to see nicely what it's going to look like before the final product video. So what have I done since the last one? So obviously you can see we have like more of the casing, the bulk of it's been filled out. I still need to do a few aesthetic changes, obviously, to make it look a little prettier, but overall, I mean, it's fine. Now, I didn't get to make it look exactly the way I wanted it to look, and that's just because obviously this thing is going to be mounted on top of the hidden blade, and because of that, there's certain restrictions I have to follow. So I wanted to make, some more curved edges and that kind of thing. But because the screw holes are going to go right here on the corners, I can't make this curved or chamfered or anything like that because it's not going to line up properly. So just keep that in mind, obviously. But yeah, I was a bit bummed about that. But I mean, I think it still should look fine because this thing is actually a lot smaller in real life than what it looks like on the computer. But yeah, so I'm going to take this top lid off now so you can have a look on the insides. So the internals haven't really changed too much. We still have the hammer here, we have the trigger piece here, and then you have your, I'm just going to call this the catch, and that's what rotates the cylinder around after each shot. Now I think I need to adjust the size of this a little bit. I think I made it a little bit too tall, so I need to shorten that down so that it properly latches onto this catch here, and that way I'll be able to push it right up to the next one. So that's pretty much the same. The only other thing I added was a little channel in here. As you can see, there's one in the hammer now, and I added a slot in the back there, and that is just so that our torsion spring, which wraps around here, has a place to go, because I printed the trigger and the hammer and all that stuff, and the spring essentially was too long to fit and rest in here, and it would kept flicking off of just that little wall that's right there. So I needed to redesign that. That's why I put this piece in, and that allows us to keep the full length of the spring so that it has complete spring action, essentially, and it's not too short where it's just going to bend the spring rather than actually utilize the spring. So yeah, so that's pretty much the same. We've added a few screw holes, obviously, to the top casing. I filled this part in that was hollow before. We added the top rail there. Now onto the main changes. You may have noticed these little square channels that are cut into the cylinder. So you can see there's one there. These all line up with exactly in between each of the ammunition cylinders here, or the barrel, I should say. And what that does is there's a little piece here, which if I go and eliminate this cylinder, we can have a look. There's a little, I'm just going to call this the friction lock for now. It looks like a little house, sits right here, and there's going to be a spring that goes in between this block and this floor here. So this is constantly under spring tension. So what that means is each time the cylinder rotates around per shot, so I think it was 72 degrees obviously, because we have 360 degrees divided by 5, which would give us 72 degrees per rotation, or 1/5 of a rotation, I should say. And that's where these line up. So that little piece is going to lock into here after each shot, so that this barrel just doesn't freely spin around in between shots, and it stays where it's meant to stay. So that's one of the main things I've added onto this. The other thing is the pin here that locks. So this piece here actually runs right through the whole system. So if I get rid of that and we eliminate this one, this pin runs right through here, as you can see there. Just highlight that for you guys. So you can see that runs right through. And now if you can see here, there is a elevation. And what that means is there's a spring that's going to sit between there and the front. And this pin is going to be constantly under spring tension. And what that does is it's going to hold the cylinder in the center position, because if we look here, there is a hole cut out in the back, and that means that when this is loaded in, that pin will be spring loaded into that slot like that, and that's going to keep the barrel nice and centered. So yeah, that's what that pin does. Obviously, to unlock it, you're just going to pull this out, and it will pull the pin out from here, and that will unlock it and allow it to move, which is pretty cool. Alright, we'll go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, this is the barrel, or part of the barrel. The actual cylinder contains majority of the barrel, which I talked about in the last video, and then this is just the extension piece on the top. And now, unlike traditional revolvers, which to reload the cylinder kind of would rotate out to the side, it would kind of come around in like a semicircle motion like that. I redesigned it so that it would actually come straight up, and this is obviously just for convenience, since this is going to be mounted to your forearm. The old system would have been a little bit harder, whereas the way I've designed this, it will actually angle towards you. So if I grab this and grab this, what we can actually do is have a look at what would happen. And we're going to rotate this on this axis here. So essentially, when you pull that pin out here, like I said before, this is going to come up. So now it should go about 25 degrees, if my calculations are correct. And what that means is you'll be able to see the cylinders are now exposed, and you'll be able to reload the ammunition like that. So that's how it'll look. And then once you have reloaded, you can go ahead and return the barrel to the original position like that, and it will be ready to go. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've done for now. I just have to add the screw holes, and I'm probably going to chuck my logo on there on the top case, maybe a few minor aesthetic changes, but basically that's the main system there. So hope you guys like it. I'm sure you're all very excited for the first prototype video where I show you it in the mock 3D print. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.